Young Republican Club, Gavin Wax. All right, Gavin, welcome. The National Cycling Championship wants women to compete for the highest prizes, not men posing as women. Why are the liberals and the socialists willing to destroy everything that Title IX gained for women?
Because they've moved on to their next trophy, and now it is destroying gender norms, destroying traditional concepts of biological gender. It's all part of their war on society at large. This is just another attempt to break down the basic bonds that humans share, basic elements of science, and just create chaos, division, and hatred for one another. And good on the association for standing up and not bowing to the mob. I think these attacks on women's sports are absolutely despicable. This is an issue that the vast majority of the country is very much opposed to, and we just need people to show some courage in standing up to it and standing up for the rights of women to participate in sports in a fair competition where biological males simply just can't come in and steal trophies and other types of awards from hardworking and much more deserving female participants. I mean, the whole thing is just completely insane, and it just goes to show how far we've gone. And the second you cede an inch to the left, they're going to take a mile. So it started out with feminism, and now it's moving on to this transhumanism. So it's just one step towards their ultimate goal of just sort of creating their own vision of a dystopia, and it's very sad.
You mentioned feminism. You saw that story about the feminist mom losing custody of her daughter because she wouldn't call her a boy. Should the state be allowed to wreck a family over gender and pronouns?
Absolutely not. I mean, this is a massive overreach by the state, to put it mildly. It's terrifying, actually. The fact that something like this would happen, that the state is not only encouraging child abuse, that they are going to punish the parents of the child for not going along with this sort of child abuse. And I think it's interesting that she was a feminist. There's a whole movement called the TERFs, which were the trans exclusionary radical feminists. People like J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series, I guess could be considered part of that. And it's interesting. It's sort of like a left-on-left battle between these old school feminists and these new sort of trans, radical activists. And now they're putting children in the middle, and they're trying to advocate for, hormonal drugs and other types of surgeries that are not, you can't reverse that. This is setting themselves up for a life of medical issues, psychological issues, emotional issues, all because of an insane ideologically driven agenda that's not based on science, that's not based on the welfare of the child. And now we're seeing institutions of the state beginning to actively encourage and promote it. It's a really sick and twisted time we're living in.
You put that so perfectly just then. The children are caught in the middle of a custody battle between these two groups. Well said. All right, I want you to listen to this exchange on Afghanistan between a reporter and Pentagon spokesman John Kirby.
We know that the Taliban was harboring the world's most wanted terrorist. You guys gave a whole country to a bunch of people that are on the FBI most wanted list. What did you think was going to happen?
I take issue with the premise that we gave a whole country to terrorist groups.
All right, we're on the one-year anniversary of Biden's failed withdrawal from Afghanistan. It's here. So was the strike against ISIS leadership timed in a way to take the impact politically away from that?
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's ridiculous that it took 20 years for this to happen. I think people like Eric Prince were right. We did not need to engage in nation building after 9/11. We could have engaged in special military operations, targeted strikes, targeted assassinations to take out the leadership of these terrorist cells. And I think there are a lot of politically motivated decisions that go on in our national security apparatus where they think, well, what's going to be better for ratings? What's going to be better for our poll numbers? Oh, we know where he is. We know what he's doing. We know what he's planning, but we're going to hold off on making a move until it's most politically expedient. I mean, these are not decisions that should be made with a political calculus in mind. These are decisions that should be made with a national defense and national security consideration in mind. And that's how we should actually be governing our foreign policy. But it seems the Biden administration is looking for cheap points when they can get them. Obviously, I'm very happy that this, someone on the left would probably call an austere religious scholar, finally meant his end. But at the same same time, it just goes to show that we have been operating in a kind of strange and backwards fashion over the last 20 years in our war on terror, and we should really be reevaluating it. And the pullout of Afghanistan is part of that series of failures and embarrassments for the United States and the world at large.
Yeah, and the fact that he's al-Qaeda and he's back in Afghanistan says it all. Let's take a moment to listen to Press Secretary KJP representing Joe Biden and his administration.
We don't have anything. We just don't have anything. Don't have anything. So I don't have anything. I don't have anything. I don't have anything. I don't have anything. I don't have anything.
All right, someone strung together 100 of those. We won't take the time to show them all to you, Gavin. Is she really the best choice to represent the president with the press?
Oh, absolutely not. She's totally out of her league, out of her depth. And this is a friendly press. This is an institution. This is a mainstream media that covers and props up this administration at every given opportunity. And she's still flailing and she's still failing to do the job as press secretary. It's honestly embarrassing that everything can be stacked in your favor and you still can't handle even the most basic inquiries from the press. So it's a sad state of affairs for the administration. And again, it just goes to show that they're not focusing on merit in any of their staffing decisions.
Well, maybe she actually represents it well then in that regard. Gavin, thank you so much for being with us today. Fior, back to you.
Thank you guys for having me.
The Hondo, Texas City Council ended a 15-year National Rifle Association fundraiser after some parents of victims in the Uvalde school shooting protested.